Hey guys, this is the Bloody Seymour, and this is going to be my first in the hopefully a long line of series called just me Unscripted. This episode's going to be about Final Fantasy X, about all you haters out there. Yeah, don't hate on the game for one bad scene. Okay, first let me just say, no script. See, no script, nothing. This is just me completely just ranting about whatever it is. This episode happens to be Final Fantasy X. Now, Final Fantasy X came out, I believe, in what 05, 06 or something like that, and I don't own the rights to any of it. I can't say I'm a professional on it. I've only beat the game once. I haven't gotten really any of the secret weapons, and frankly, I don't even want to think about it. But the first, just going through it as just a story, I love it. And the battle system, yes, is dated. For me at least, allows me to think about what I want to do, how do I want to deal with certain monsters, how do I, just that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff helps, especially when they have that little scroll bar at the side that shows you who's attacking when and what monsters attacking what and what happens if you cast haste or slow or whatever it is. Anyway, the thing that most people have a problem with, at least that I've seen, that haters always get onto the game about, is one scene, and one scene in particular. It's the scene right after the first Blitzball tournament, where Walker retires, and we find out that Jagged is actually Sin. Titus also finds this out at the same time, and he's depressed. What happens afterwards is that Auron and Titus pledge themselves to Yuna's cause as guardians. What Yuna does is she sees that Titus is sad, and she goes over to him, and she says she wants her journey to be filled with laughter. Also, if you don't want to hear any more, if you guys haven't played the game, if you haven't even come close, spoilers. A lot of spoilers. Just saying, because I've played the game, I've beaten it, I've seen every cutscene, I've done every battle. Yeah, I've done it. I'm gonna spoil it. And if you guys haven't seen any of it by now, you either don't care about the game, which you shouldn't be watching this episode anyway, or you just haven't gotten that far. And if you haven't gotten that far, game facts. Seriously, read a walkthrough, you'll get through it pretty quickly. I mean, I had to have help on the last couple of bosses just because I had no idea what I was doing, especially with Lady Unalaska. Oh my god, she was freaking annoying. Anyway, the scene continues on, and Yuna says she wants her journey to be filled with laughter and smiles and all sorts of stuff. So Titus, instead of screaming like he did in a previous scene, he actually starts laughing. This ridiculously forced laughter. And what starts out, Yuna says, "Oh, please, stop, please, no more." But after a while, she joins in. They're both doing this ha 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 thing, and it's really kind of stupid. I hate the scene too, and I understand why all you haters hate that scene, but don't hate the game for that scene, because that scene everyone hates. I mean, if there is that one person out there, please comment so I at least know you're out there, because I know of no one that likes that. But then they start breaking out into giggles, and even Waka asks, "Were you two going crazy then?" But if you look at the story aspect of the game, it's amazing. I mean, you start off as this kid. He doesn't really give a flying what his dad has done, or who his dad is. His mother really isn't talked about really until later in the game. And he goes on just this emotional roller coaster of ups, downs, sideways, corkscrews, loop-de-loops, all sorts of stuff, just to fall in love with a woman he can't be with because he's dead. Yeah, that's right. I told you there's gonna have spoilers in it. I haven't figured out a title for this yet, but I will put spoilers in the title. That's gonna happen. He's dead. He's actually part of a summoning that is continually summoning Sin, the giant main final boss that you have to beat. And he's dead. So is Orin, for that matter, and they're just apparitions summoned from, well, not Orin, but Titus is an apparition summoned from the far plane by all the I can't remember what they call them, but just a giant altar of, it looks like dead bodies, really, uh, on Mount Gagazet, that is continually summoning Sin. And they're tired, so they summon Titus to help any summoner at all, just completely destroy Sin. And as you go through it, we find out later that to do this, both Yuna, well, this is the first part. Yuna will have to die in order to kill Sin, at least for what was it, a 5 or a 10-year stint that Sin will be reforming itself around the final Aeon. But later in the game, we also find out that one of the guardians is supposed to die for a summoner to get the final summoning to defeat Sin. So already you have the sadness that the main character Titus and Yuna are already falling in love. They know that Yuna's gonna have to die, so that just puts a whole dampener on the thing, especially when you finally get to Xanarkand, which, by the way, just the whole mood of that place is just depressing as all get out. I mean, I'm even coming to tears right now just thinking about all this stuff. Plus the whole fight with Seymour Guado when we find out he's also dead. So is the Grand Maester, or whatever it is he's called. He's the old fucker that has just been in office way too freaking long. Anyway, every major player that knows about this is just evil. I mean, Seymour even wants to become Sin by becoming Yuna's guardian and the one that is sacrificed to become the final Aeon. Because the final Aeon, the one that is used against Sin to destroy it, becomes the next Sin. And that's how Jecht became the current Sin, is he gave his life for Yuna's father to have the final summoning. And it's just the whole stuff with home, or the Albed home being destroyed, finding out that Yuna has to die, finding out that someone else has to die, finding that Lady Yunalesca is still alive and has been killing several hundreds, just hundreds of different guardians. So it's late, I can't talk. Hundreds of different guardians and summoners to get rid of Sin. And she will continue to live on if Titus and all them don't do what they do. Obviously, you kill her. But anyway, also you have the love story between Waka and Lulu. You have the Silent Guardian, Kimari, which honestly, unless you actively train him, you don't really need him. I mean, you want to train him right before his special boss battle, where it's a 2-on-1, and he's fighting 2 other Rons, so that you actually meet right before the really god-awful laughing scene back in the beginning. Also, the island of Kilika is destroyed. It's a whole bunch of stuff just kind of compounds in this giant depressing heap with only small bits of comedic relief, with Riku's Sphere of Lightning on the Thunder Plains, and the actual meeting of Riku for the second time when she and the other Albeds steal Yuna. And I think the 3 most painful scenes for me, at least emotionally, and I'm not a huge emotional guy, but just I've played this game so many freaking times, and I've only beaten it once, to be honest. Just the 3 big ones are one, right in the middle of the destruction of home, we find out that Yuna has to die. So Titus runs up to an Aeon that a rival summoner, I can't remember her name, it is a her, I just can't remember her name, summoned, and he starts trying to beat it up, but it actually closes its wings in around him. The second most painful scene for me to watch in this game is the scene just outside of Macalania Woods, where Yuna is in a right up against the pond, and they have this one just tender moment. I swear, if I watch that video again, there will be one tear, just one, just because I'm a Final Fantasy fanatic, and love stories, they get to me every time. I'm not saying I'm that much of a pussy, but I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It's late and I'm kind of rambling right now. Anyway, and the third and probably the worst scene for me is the final cutscene at the end of the game. Now, I've heard tale that there is also a secret ending after this. I'm not sure if what I saw was the secret ending or if there was one afterward. But anyway, it's when Sin is defeated. Everyone around the group is cheering, they're having parties, they're celebrating. Yet on the airship, everyone is sad, especially Yuna and Titus, because they know they can never be together again, ever. Titus and Auron go back to the far plane, which is the afterlife for the Final Fantasy X universe, and just ends with a high five. I mean, don't get me wrong, a great game, but that just seemed kind of stupid to end it on. And again, this is my opinion on this, but they could have ended it a different way. They could have ended it after he jumped off the airship and met up with Yuna's father, Auron, and Jack, his father. That would have just been the perfect ending. Just let him jump off and meet up with them, and have them watch down over the rest of the group as they head back home. Now, Final Fantasy X-2, I still haven't beaten, and honestly, I'm not going into that one because that one just bugs me. I mean, different battle system. Oh, excuse me. And it was okay, I guess, but the story just kind of seemed like it was thrown together, like it was just the company just what's the word? What's the phrase? Excuse me. What is? They were bending to the will of us fans. We all wanted to see what would happen afterwards, but this one bad sequel kind of opened up the demon's door for bad sequels. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still haven't played much of the newest Final Fantasy, what was it, 13 or whatever it is, but the 13-2, I mean, come on guys, you could fit all you wanted to do in one game and be done with it. I mean, the Final Fantasy guys over at Square Enix are known for one and done. End of story. At least where Final Fantasy is concerned. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is a whole nother kettle of fish. But just with Final Fantasy, you have a good story and it's done. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Well, anyway, that's my first episode in this unscripted stuff, so this is the Bloody Seymour signing off his first unscripted episode. Thanks, guys. Like, favorite, and subscribe. Yes. Again, I am gonna say it. I'm advertising myself like a shameless whore. Bye, guys.